Remember when U.S. National Security Advisor John Bolton went on Fox News and literally told people that the hostilities against Venezuela were about oil? Somebody's managed to come along and make it even worse. A retired Brigadier General Anthony Tata has basically confirmed this and then added some really interesting points on top of it. Now here's exactly what he said on Fox News.
And we've also got the world's largest oil reserves there. So we got a lot of compelling reasons to be there. And so we need a sophisticated plan, much like we had in 1994 with the Haiti invasion, where we had a peacekeeping force on an aircraft carrier offshore. And then number two would be to get rid of Iran, Russia, Hezbollah, and Cuba out of that area. That's a 4-hour flight from the United States. It's, we've got enemies knocking on the door there that are not far away when you talk about some of these intercontinental ballistic missiles that are being made today.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, he can watch the movie Oh Dark 30 and, figure out what happened to Osama bin Laden. He can, watch what happened to Noriega. We have the capability to get in there and do what we need to do to remove Maduro. Obviously, it would be better to do that diplomatically, applying the diplomatic element of power there, with some diplomats going down there and negotiating with him and telling him it's a lost cause. So that's obviously the best method.
They are trying that.
They're trying that, but he needs to understand that a bullet to the forehead may be his way out of Venezuela. So, I mean, that's...
Now, you know that calling for the assassination of a foreign head of state is a terrorist act, according to the Patriot Act. But, I mean, it's pretty obvious that, he's not going to get arrested and charged. But think about that. Someone with his authority, someone with his experience is outright calling for the assassination of a foreign head of state, which is pretty much against the law. And they're not even, like, trying to cover this up anymore. They're not even, like, trying to give the pretext of humanitarian intervention. I mean, they're like, mentioning it as a side note. But they're outright saying it now. But look at the amazing lack of self-awareness. He talks about the oil. He shouldn't have talked about it at all. He should have just stuck to the humanitarian crisis thing. But it's not enough to actually mention it, but to say, we've got our largest reserves of oil. Who's we? Now, I know you ain't talking about me, because I don't have any oil holdings in Venezuela. I know you're not talking about you, because it's not your oil. It's Venezuela's oil. But think about that. Subconsciously, he even knows that that's the attitude of the American empire, that that resource belongs to them, and that they have the right to come and take it if someone doesn't want to hand over their oil industry to the United States. It's right there, plain as day, perfect for everyone to see. Now, what makes this even worse is that he continues with the Hezbollah lie. Hezbollah, that militant group in Lebanon, for some reason exists in Venezuela. I'd like to see some evidence of that. I mean, the thing is that that's just such a fantastic claim that you would have to have evidence to back it up. I mean, anybody with a shred of integrity would say, hey, wait a minute, that's the wrong country and the wrong continent and the wrong hemisphere, and would naturally want to see some kind of evidence of that. Of course, no evidence is being presented because it's a baseless claim. Now take this whole context, everything that was just said, and then add in the fact that he says that the United States went in to save Haiti. Well, we had one of our aircraft carriers or destroyers or what have you right there by the country to come in and put down the unrest for peacekeeping, and Canada had a big hand in that as well. Isn't it interesting how this unrest mysteriously appeared out of nowhere when Bertrand Aristide decided to raise the minimum wage for textile workers, and all of a sudden these militant groups just appeared out of nowhere, really angry about textile workers making $1 an hour. I believe that's what it was raised to, $1 a day, something like that. So all these militant groups just mysteriously appeared out of nowhere and started defending the American textile companies, or I should say, not just the United States, but Canada, the UK, and other imperialist countries as well. just angry about the minimum wage increase. And then all of a sudden we find a mass social unrest, and then Articide finds himself mysteriously pushed out of the country, and then a hand-picked US puppet put in his place. And they actually went with that "We saved Haiti" line while talking about overthrowing another country and assassinating their leader. That's the mind-blowing lack of self-awareness that this guy has. And John Bolton. That they're actually going out and saying these things and telling people they're there for the oil. It blows my mind. And yet still conservatives and even a great deal of liberals still believe this is all about the humanitarian intervention, to deal with the humanitarian problem that was created by the United States using the US dollar as a weapon, blocking Venezuela from using the international payment system and sanctioning them to prevent them from being able to carry out trade, etc. But, never mind all that. Just say Venezuela socialism, and then it's okay. Then you've totally pwned the libtard. It's nuts that people are still willing to buy it, even when the government comes out and tells you what the ulterior motives are and what the actual motives are. They still don't believe you. They still don't believe them even when you tell them to their face that we're lying. This is about profits and oil money. And the American public still doesn't believe it. It blows my mind. Those of us who are trying to push an anti-imperialist line, man, we really have one hell of a job in front of us.
Thank you for watching. If you like this program, then please head over to my Patreon page and set up a monthly donation. It's your donations that keep this program running. Also, if you would like, please rate, comment, subscribe, and share in various social media.